And hopefully there's some nice yearlings here that are in your range, and we can get a few shares away and get these horses underway and head towards all the big races during the spring, and hopefully we might be a Golden Slipper winner amongst this lot.
I think it's fair to say that certainly in New South Wales, racing horses, given the prize money levels, have never been this good. If you are thinking about it, I mean, when you race horses, there are no guarantees, but it's a great thing to get together with like-minded people, and the opportunity to win your money back and get the photo on the wall has never been better.
Yeah, exactly, Richard. I think the prize money is just astronomical now. Even just to go out to the country tracks now with your Bob's bonuses, it pays their way. But you can see there's a lot of competition at the yearling sales now. I think everyone would have seen the prices of the yearlings at Easter. There's some lovely pedigreed horses, but you couldn't get into a horse for a nice horse for under $400,000 or $500,000, and I think that we've proven it time and time again that the horses that Adrian looks for, the horses that often will slip through the cracks, as so to speak. That for us, we're not looking for the horse that's fully furnished at the yearling sale. We're looking for the horse that's going to improve. So we often find that. I think there's a horse that everyone probably knows that's coming through of Adrian's at the moment called Capital Rain. We bought it here at the Classic sale for $30,000. He's a capitalist out of a Schnitzel mare. He wasn't very big, but he had a bit of strength about him. I liked the way he got around. And he's had one start for a big win, and he won a trial today by 7 lengths, and he's a $30,000 horse. And I'd reckon if you paid $500 for a horse like that, what you would expect to have a horse of that quality. But there's no guarantee. That doesn't matter. You can spend $1 million on one, and you could own a house that can't move, or it won't win you any prize money. And so I think we narrow the risk by buying quality types with good pages, buy stallions that we believe obviously have got a good strike rate. And, we try to give him every chance from there on, and Adrian's great to train for. He's very patient, and we've had a lot of success together.
Dane, he's an English Premier graduate, and he comes out, and it's fair to say, Gary, if he turns out anywhere near half as good as his brother, you're having some fun.
Yeah, exactly. I think Rebel Dane was a special horse to our stable. He raced for, I think, 6 or 7 years at the top level. I remember when he first walked into my stable, he was a very unassuming horse. He was small, he was skinny, he didn't have much type about him, and we had to give him time. Within 6 months, he came back to our stable, had a couple of looks around. He didn't race till a late 3-year-old, where he went on to win 3 or 4 in a row. Went right through to, I think, the second preparation. He got beaten ahead in the Hobartville Stakes by Piero. He then went on to win a Group 1 at 4. And another Group 1, I think it's 7 or 8. I think Richard won the Manicato with him. And so a family that's got longevity, good sound horses. And this fella here is not dissimilar to Rebel at the same age. He hasn't muscled up properly yet. He's a bit unassuming, but he's got plenty of length about him. He's a lovely grey colt, as you can see, and by a stallion that's a freak of a horse as a racehorse. He's raced all over the world at Group 1 level himself. So you've got a colt that's a half to a multiple Group 1 winning stallion, and by a stallion that is his first crop in Australia. And if he's anywhere near as the sire he was as a racehorse, then this is a very cheap horse.
They go for a little bit of a break. What's the process after they're sold with these horses?
Most of the time they just get time to get through the sale process. This colt particularly came through the Arrowfield draft, and that's another thing we've decided we're going to do is focus on some of the studs as well that you buy from. Certain studs produce most of the winners, and it's no fluke. So this guy, we've broken in. He'll go to the paddock for a month, come back into me for a few weeks, have a look around the stable, get used to the routine, go back out for a month again, and that process goes on until the horse puts his hand up and says, I'm really coping with it all, and I'm ready to go to the barrier trials. Well, they can't trial till September anyway, but the ones that are, I always sort of equate it to, you see young 6-year-olds or 7-year-old kids kicking a footy around. The ones that can chip over the top and catch it are the ones that go early. And that's the same with the horses. They just do things that some horses can't do, or the adults can do. So we identify them ones, and we concentrate on them being the 2-year-olds. And the ones that need a bit more time, like the grey fella just now, they sleep a bit more and they go shin sore. We just give them ones the time, and they'll come good when they're ready. But the ones that do come good, like our She Will Reigns, etc., I'm All the Talk. They were just good horses from the time we started working.
Through this Elite Thoroughbreds parade of youngsters this morning, and we have a Maurice colt here by the look of things. Again, it'll have that Arrowfield brand on the near shoulder, this fellow. So as Gary said, off the right kind of farm. He's by Maurice, whose oldest are 2-year-olds, and he's a half-brother to a horse named Dealmaker. Now, Dealmaker was a pretty handy miler and group placed a few times. So again, if he's half as good as Dealmaker or better, a horse to have a bit of fun with. So Maurice colt, an English Classic purchase, so sold here in January. Gary, tell us a bit about this fellow.
Again, we went through the Arrowfield draft, and I've got I love the stallion Maurice. I was lucky enough that when we went to Hong Kong with Rebel Dane, we were stabled in an international quarantine area, and Maurice was a horse that came out every morning, and he was an unbelievable horse. Like if you want to visualise what a thoroughbred should look like, he was the stallion is what I say. He's just a beautiful horse, carried himself well. And as soon as I saw this horse, I said to Adrian, I want to go and have this colt. This is the spitting image of his father. Big flashy colt, great attitude, strong, out of a good mare that's already produced a black type place getter who's won 468,000 in prize money, done deal, Dealmaker I should say. He was late in the sale. The sale was strong. We sort of hoped we'd get him for a song, but some of the good judges had spotted him as well. So we got a bit of a bidding duel. Unfortunately, Adrian wasn't there, so I didn't have anyone there to...
So you kept going is what you're saying?
Well, I think if the guy that was bidding against me saw Adrian, he may have pulled up a bit earlier. But the bloke thought he was having a bit of fun with this. He took me up in $2,500 bids from 70,000 to about 110, I think. So, and I think if I'd had Adrian on my shoulder, I would have let him see Adrian, and we might have stopped the $2,500 bid a bit earlier. But yeah, look, he was a horse we were going to bring home no matter what. He's by the stallion. I reckon it's going to be a great job. You've seen yesterday, I think...
Maurice is my dad, yeah, ran well.
Yeah, ran a great race yesterday in the Fernhill. I've got one that won the other day. I only paid 70,000 for him, or 80,000 for him at the Magic Millions. He won the other day as well in Akahiro. I've got another one coming through called Clyde. He's a flying machine. I've got another one called Maurice's Choice. Another horse, a beautiful quality horse. So I think this stallion's, now's the time to get in him. It's in 12 months' time or 2 years' time when he starts to get these horses with the stakes races. They'll be like the Schnitzels. You won't be able to get near them at the right price.
He was a Japanese horse as well, and he won that Hong Kong mile. We work our way through the draft this morning. Like this horse, and gee whiz, you talk about pedigree updates, and everyone likes a pedigree update after they've bought a horse. And, well, here is the full brother to Pandano, who was the beaten favourite in yesterday's provincial final, we know that, but geez, had an amazing prep, Pandano. He's a city performer, and that brand again, that Arrowfield brand, he looks a lot like his father as well, this fellow.
He does, Richard. He's a beautiful horse. Out of a Schnitzel mare, I think you're going to find that the Schnitzel mares are going to be great producers of gallopers. You know, obviously the Australia's leading sire, and he'll be having a lot of brood mares now retiring. This guy's a flashy type, half to Pandano, who I think anyone's seen him coming through his grades. There's no doubt he's going to win a group race. So you're going to have a half brother to a full brother to a group winner, and hopefully this bloke will be better than him even. But he's a beautiful horse. I can't wait to see this bloke turn up the stables. He's a great shaped horse. He sold himself. I was surprised that we didn't have to pay a lot more for him. Have a look at him. He's a beautiful looking animal.
We're getting into winter, but his coat's glowing. He's a very healthy animal. He walks around. Remember his dad, Done Deal, when he came to the races and he walked into the yard for some of those races. He walked into the yearlings. Well, this filly here is maybe a little bit of a collector's item. She's by Minari. Now, we know how good a racehorse Minari was. He was so fast. Fertility was a little drama with Minari. Didn't get all the many mares in foal, and there aren't many by Minari around the place, Gary, but this filly, she's a Magic Millions purchase. She's a Lady Syndicate horse. Men, you want to make your other half very happy, a little Christmas present. Now, we miss Valentine's Day. When's that? I always miss Valentine's Day, getting in all sorts of trouble. Mother's Day coming up, Gary. So a Lady Syndicate filly. Now, she's by Minari. There aren't many of them. good family out of an Ocean Park mare, first foal of an Ocean Park mare. Tell us a bit about this Minari filly and what caught your eye about her.
Well, again, I went up to Edinburgh Park up at Taree, looking at yearlings before they went to the Magic Millions. And this little filly was out in a paddock still. She hadn't been brought in for the sale at that point. So she was in paddock condition. She wasn't done up, but I could see the structure. You can see her there now. She's got a beautiful shape to her, nice length, nice strength through her hind quarter. She's not too big. She's got great little attitude on her. She just had that balance, and I could see that in the paddock that she just was going to get the sale, and she was going to go cheap because I thought they'll miss her. The smarties that like to see a finished product wouldn't have a second look at this girl. So we're on our game. I said to Adrian, this Minari filly's a nice filly. Let's have a look at her. And we're right on the spot and picked her up quite easily and quite cheaply. And as you can see, she's a very sweet filly.
Bit of furnishing to do there, but she certainly looks the part. If you like her, have a chat with Adrian and the team afterwards. There's still certainly some availability in her. This is another colt. He comes off Twin Hill Stud down there at Cootamundra. Ollie Tate's property, I think, down there in southern New South Wales. So he had a great start to life. This is a Zoustar colt. He came through the Magic Million sales earlier this year. He's out of a Canberra Guineas winning mare, or filly, and she goes to Rio. We can talk about the pedigree all we like, but he's by Zoustar. I think another couple of stakes winners for him yesterday. An outstanding sire this colt is by. Simple as that.
Yeah. I mean, you just look at the stallion. You look at the page. She goes to Rio. Was a really tough little mare. She obviously ran places in black type races, which is hard to do. And she's thrown this foal. He's a magnificent colt. He didn't look like this at the sale. He was a bit light on. He probably wasn't prepped up as good as what some of the other horses were. So we were able to get him again. I think he slipped through the cracks. He's come back from a spell now. He looks absolutely sensational. He's got that silver tail. Unusual for them to have a silver tail and not a silver mane. He's got that. He's going to look absolutely outstanding on race day. He's a strong colt, got a great walk about him, as I said, out of a good mare and by a stallion of the moment.
And you have to do your homework with the Zoustars. They are so popular at the yearling sales. Just look at the general size table and where Zoustar is sitting. He's a terrific horse. He can get you a really good colt. We know that Zootori's flying at the moment, a lean, mean machine. Zousane, he's just a very good sire. We see again up in the top corner there on the pedigree page, Gary, Bob's eligible. So week in, week out, a colt like this can race for great prize money here, and then a Bob's bonus on top if he wins it.
Horses come back after spells again. We've had 40 odd winners this year. In the last 35 runners, I've had 11 winners. So you go in sort of patches sometimes. I find that at this stage where you've got group racing on every Saturday, that the midweekers are strong and the provincial races are even stronger than usual. So it's this time of year you try to go a bit quiet. So as soon as the first week of winter comes on, we'll have a whole draft of horses coming through and just trying to win as much money with the Bob's bonuses as we can. And that's the key. It's not always about getting that black type. It's nice to have one that good. But if you place your horses properly in Sydney these days, you can win a lot of prize money without having to go on a group race.
Here's an athlete. Here is a Pariah colt. Now, we know Pariah, he was a very good 2-year-old and 3-year-old, a San Domenico winner and a Canterbury Stakes winner, placed in a Blue Diamond, and the Pariah's oldest are just yearlings. So they haven't actually been to the races yet. They'll all turn 2 come August. So we really don't know with these horses just yet. But all we do know is his dad was a very sharp racehorse. And it's a great pedigree here out of Basami Mucho. She was a stakes winner. She's thrown a couple of stakes winners. So a Pariah colt here. There are shares available in him. And he is one athletic yearling, Gary.
Yeah, I thought we stole this guy. I said to Adrian, unfortunately this year with COVID, Adrian wasn't able to get up to the Magic Millions, so I was up there and I said, look, I found this colt, I hope we can get him. I've fallen in love with this horse. By Pariah, I think he was a fantastic 2-year-old, and the horses that he's thrown, Pariah, they're just in great shape. They look like they're just the type of horse that I like. They're running 2-year-old types, good attitude, plenty of strength through the hindquarters, in great shape, as I said. Out of a fantastic mare, like an Costa del Lago mare. Like, everyone's looking for more than and Costa del Lago mares. He's thrown so many Group 1 winners. As you can see, Frespinol, it won 9 races, not just a couple, it won 9. Try and win 9. The other one, Essington, 9 wins as well by Reduced Choice. The mare's done a phenomenal job. There's only 2 dams on the page.
Deep Field Colt out of the More Than Ready mare in Furiosa. She was placed herself, a daughter of a very good mare in South America in Wild Storm. So really an international pedigree here off the Widden stud, an amazing nursery, and by Deep Field. Gary, do we need to say too much more about Deep Field? You follow racing, you know Deep Field.
Yeah, look, I've had a truckload of them over the last few years, and I think probably Space Boy's the best of them so far, and he's won $500,000 in prize money. We had a winner during the week called Ruby Tuesday. I think she's up to winning a decent race as well.
What was she doing leading, Gary?
We had a little talk to her. No, she was a horse she's very highly strung filly, a chestnut, so a redhead with a not a bad attitude, but too smart for everybody. She decided she was going to start letting everyone jump out better than her at the barriers and just follow them around and try to run them down. And we had to get to her head and get her confidence back that jumping out the barriers in front was a better place to be. So we've got a fantastic track work rider who's good at getting horse out of the barriers. We did a lot of work on her at home to get her to jump well. She went to Warwick Farm the day, jumped okay, didn't really jump well, but jumped okay. And then she must have got confidence from that, because she went to Hawkesville today and she jumped straight to the front. And I wish I could have got on in the run, because I've never seen a horse come from behind her in any race. So to see her in front of the whole field, it was going to take a pretty special horse to beat her. As it was, she won a track record. So she's now the course record holder for 1500 at Hawkesbury. She's by Deep Field, and I'd say for me, one of my probably the favourite stallion, because I believe when you buy Deep Field, and in my stable in particular, you've bought a winner before you start.
Pretty powerful.
Yeah, he's a powerhouse. What you see is what you get with him. He'll go from day one for sure. So we won't take too much long with these. These are the race horses now, so we'll try and get through these as quick as we can. Everyone's probably getting a bit burnt out in the sun. So we'll get through these. There's about 8 horses here. We'll give a quick rundown of what we've got. And the first horse out is Walking Talking.
You train Dad. I'm all the talk. Really sharp horse, a Skyline winner. So you train the old man. A 2-year-old here. Does he look much like Dad?
Oh yeah, he's a beautiful horse, this fella. Obviously Adrian syndicated I'm All the Talk, who was a full brother to Straturbo, who we bought before I'm All the Talk. He was a very, very sharp horse, probably one of the fastest horses I've ever trained from the standstill. I remember people would think they'd lead with a good horse, and I'm All the Talk would lead them on the bridle without even trying. This fella I bought over in the Western Australia. Obviously, I'm All the Talk is now over in Western Australia.
You've had good success from that sale, and you haven't bought many, but they've all been nice horses.
Yeah, look, it's a nice place to buy horses from. You can get them from a good price. It only costs you $1,500 to get the horse from Western Australia right across to here, so it's cheap to do that as well. And you know, as I said, the stallion's now the leading sire in Western Australia. He's the most sought after stallion there, and you know, I've bought a few of them now, and they can all gallop. This fella's had 1 trial, or 2 trials, and he showed us a stack of ability his last trial before going Shinsaw. He's back in work. He's not far off trialling now, and as you can see, he's a magnificent, big, strong horse. Great skin to him, and keep an eye on this bloke, Walking Talking. His mother was very fast. She was a real quick horse. They can not see you, kick out, and make a pretty big mess of you, so I'm always on my toes.
Here is another 2-year-old. He's a Zoo Star colt, this fellow. His name is Spoken Star. So some of these 2-year-olds have been named, and Spoken Star is by Zoo Star out of a Sepoy mare, and first foal of a Sepoy mare. And to be fair, Gary, pedigrees don't get a whole lot bigger. A horse called Reduced Choice in the second down here. He was a Magic Millions purchase, a son of Zoo Star, a 2-year-old. He's Vegas eligible. You might pop him down to Victoria to win a race or two, but tell us about him.
Yeah, look, he was a fella that was a little on the smaller side when we first bought him, and he's really starting to develop now. Had a few attitude problems for a while there after being broken in. As you can see, he's a bit of a spooky bugger. He's having a look around. Yeah, he's a bull. He's got a page and a half, and you know, we're just trying to bring him on steadily. And this preparation, I think you'll find that we'll get right through to the races this time through. So he's had time, and he's ready to go.
He's a colt. He knows it. He's a lad. How do you? I mean, you have to have a good team around you to handle these young horses.
Yeah, look, that's the key, is making sure that you don't put your horse in a position where he can learn bad habits and keep them in, the boys with the boys. Don't let them see the fillies too often, all that sort of stuff.
You follow the results. Capitalist is doing a great job with his 2-year-olds, and this fellow out of a Woodman mare, he's a half-brother to Striker, who was a Group 3 winner and a pretty handy stallion. So Mum's done a great job. He's a Capitalist colt. He was purchased here at the Classic sales, so eligible for all of those English bonuses. Tell us about Feudalist is the name.
Feudalist, yeah, look, I've got a page, half-brother to Striker. He was a big leggy horse as a yearling. He's taken a while to furnish. He still hasn't furnished yet. You can see he looks like he's on stilts. I'm going to have a look at everything here now.
We might just ease him back. We might just ease him back. It's okay. It is all experience. He's listening. Young Bernardini mare, Grand Dam Chinchilla Rose, American Pharaoh. His oldest are just 2-year-olds. He was a Triple Crown winner, an amazing horse, American Pharaoh. A grey filly. I'll tell you what, Gaz, she's the right colour for the family.
Yeah, exactly. You said the Lion Hunter second hand, the Lion Hunter mare, Chinchilla Rose. She was grey. This little girl's taken a bit of time, as you would think by an American Pharaoh. You're more than likely looking at a 3-year-old proposition. She's had one trial. She didn't trial well at all at the first trial, but she had a really good jump out before that, and I think the owners saw the video. She went like a rocket in a jump out, but then when she went to trials, it all went the wrong way, and she trialled well below what we expected. And that's what you see with the young horses. They're not ready, but she's had the experience. She's come through again now, just to have another look. I'm not sure she's going to get the races again. She's still growing, and I think she's still furnishing. So more than likely we might even go to trials again, see how she trials, and then decide which way we go. But she's got a page that suggests that she's probably going to be better at 3, being by that stallion. And I think the way she gallops, she doesn't really move like a really short distance type of horse. So I think when she moves, she's got a big stride on her, and she gives the impression that she may even get further. She might even get out to 1,600 to 2,000 metres.
And she goes back to her stall. So we come to a nice horse here. This is Capital Rain, and I suppose, Gary, we've seen yearlings come out, 2-year-olds. Here is an example of a horse who, well, he's in for work, and that's what they look like. When they're in for work, they're feeling well, and they're in good form. This is Capital Rain. Tell us about him.
Yeah, look, he's a horse that Adrian and I found. Obviously, he was a Newgate horse, which was their barns on the other side. I remember it like yesterday when we first saw him walk out. Lovely shaped little fellow. He was very small, but he reminded us a lot of a horse we had called Straturbo years ago. We got him cheaply as well. He's by Capitalist. We all know how good he is and how well he's done since we bought him, I suppose. Out of El Lou, who's a Schnitzel mare, and she won a Group 3 and was a really handy mare that won 7 races. So I thought, and the second dam's by Snippets, a fantastic page, right down the 4th dam. There's people who will know a horse called Luskin Star. So the page was littered with great sires. He's on the little side, and we all know that the Schnitzels can be on the small side. I think Schnitzel's any bigger than this horse. So we were prepared to take the gamble, being that he was a small horse, buy a good stand, have a good mare. And it wasn't a big gamble at $30,000. He's gone out there, first few preparations, didn't show a real lot, was immature, shin soreness, all that sort of stuff. Was a little bit soft, little fella. His first trials, just standing there, that'll do. And he trialled okay, put him away, came back in, trialled enormous, and then went out to Canberra the day, absolutely bolted him, did everything wrong, had to trial again, trialled on Friday, won the trial by 7 lengths and 2 seconds faster than any other horse of the day, and he's ready to rock and roll this guy.
Another 2-year-old coming through here by a sire who I know you love, Gary. This is a Nakoni 2-year-old. And is it Blazing Nicky? Amazing Nikki. So this is Amazing Nikki. Kitchwin Hills, a good Scone property up there, and she's by Nakoni. Again, you pick up the paper every second day. This side, Nakoni, is side a winner out of a good stakes winning mare. And again, a 2-year-old here by Nakoni, Gary.
Yeah, and a stallion that I've had a lot of luck with over the years as well. I'd imagine if I went through my strike rate with a stallion, I'd have 100% sales to winners. Out of a mare that's done an amazing job, the mare's had 6 foals to race, all winners. Not too many mares have done that. Including there's already one there, I'm a Legend, who's by Nakoni, who's won 3. So she's a full sister to a multiple winner. She's showing a hell of a lot of potential at track work. Beautiful, strong filly. We got her really cheaply at the start for $45,000 last year, and yeah, she's pretty good. I think she's going to win races for sure. And you see the beautiful strength through her hindquarters. She just looks like a Nakoni. That's what she looks like. That's what Dad looks like. Beautiful, rich bay colour, great walk, an absolute powerhouse. So the mother is amazing. Won 11 races. How many mares win 11 races? They've got to be pretty good. So this filly's already showing plenty of ability, and looking forward to seeing her trial tomorrow out at Hawkesbury. She's a lovely horse.
And a horse we know well. Tell us a bit about this horse, Gary. For those that don't know, we know a city performer in front of us here.
Yeah, look, she was another one we paid. She's by Stratum. We paid $20,000 for her. She has been such a good little mare. She started off sort of in country grade, and we worked up a confidence. She went through a bit of a bad habit stage where she was rearing up in the barriers, and we had to put the special gear on and stop her from doing that. Then she went through to Wednesday Company, won at Canterbury. Then she went through to Saturday Company. She's been just a horse that's just improved every campaign. She's an owner's dream. She turns up and she tries every week that she goes round. She's put in a couple of runs every now and then that haven't been quite up to expectations. But on the whole, she's tough. I think she has like 10 or 12 starts every campaign. Every time I think she's ready for a spell, she comes out the next morning and says, "Are you joking? I'm not going out. You keep me going." And she'll pick up another 20 or 30,000 next couple of weeks. So she's paid for herself time and time again. And she's probably one of the most consistent mares. She's not a champion. She knows, group horse, but gee, she's given us some fun. And for $20,000, that's what you'd like.
Updates, that kind of thing. How are owners informed?
I think most of the people here would all be aware of it. We do lots of voicemails every Tuesday to Wednesday. Voicemails go out just telling you how your progress is going. We do pre-race information on the day as well. Basically, what I try to do is pretend I own the horse on my own, and what would I expect as an owner? And it's that easy, really. It's just treat people the way you want to be treated yourself, and hopefully the horse treats it the way you want to be treated as well. It's a lot easier to look after owners than just had a winner, I'll tell you.
What are we looking at here, Gary? What's this horse's name?
Yeah, look, this is probably the filly that everyone should really put in extra black riding. This is a filly called Premisphere. She's an Exofear filly, had a couple of starts last preparation. She's pretty smart. She was unlucky to have been beaten ahead of last start before a spell. She was very light framed. There was nothing of her. I was having trouble training her. She had a fantastic spell this time, and as you can see, she's really strengthened up. She had a gallop last week that was of a horse that's Saturday Company horse. So I think she's got every chance to go through to the winter time being a very, very good filly. So she's ready to trial, and she'll be winning.
Aloquio late with Owen Brocken, but Cosmic Cameo staves them all off. But Bring a Gem with the Gun Runner is way too good. And there's a double for James McDonald.
Straturbo just in front. It's Ribbington had won the last. Straturbo
is coming away for a brilliant victory. It goes down to beat Octane Flyer, and then came in third Dothraki.
Tester Shadow resuming today's a neck in front from Oxford Poet. It can't pull back the margin. Tester Shadow patiently ridden outside the leader. Here's Seeking Asylum with the last shot at them, bursting through on the outside. Oh, what a great finish. Seeking Asylum. Abdallah says, "Go on, Sebring Sun." And it races up to hit the lead and starts to wedge away on the Rosebud. Sebring Sun from Wilder and Let's Make It Rain. Regis run home into fourth, followed then by Tatouche, then Vanbrugh from Zoo Tanada, and Camby Bossy after leading finish back at the tail of the field.